Hello! Thank you for joining me for another episode of Inspirations. That's my weekly podcast about knitting and yarn dyeing. My name is Christelle, I'm an indie dyer, I live in France, and I am very happy to be with you for another episode. So this is episode 9 of season 5. Again, sorry for the shortest episode on record last week. Don't worry, today will be a full-length episode. I have all the time in the world. All the sick little ones are back to health and to school. It's my first morning at home alone in like ages, and although I really enjoy having lots of having my family around, having friends around, I also enjoy some alone time, especially when I know that it's short. It's going to be short because I just have today, and I mean, not even the whole day, because at like 4 I have to go and pick up the little ones from school. So I have 4 kids aged between 15 and 4. And so when I say the little ones, sorry, I have something in my eye. It's Cont'd and Amelia. Cont'd is 8 and Amelia is 4. And the two older ones are Ambre and Maxime. Ambre is 15 and Maxime is 12. And they are completely independent. They go to school, come back to school alone, but the 2 little ones, I have to pick them up at school. So yes, I'm alone. I have all the time I need to debrief you at length on the fiber festivals. I also wanted to share with you my haul because I really indulged during the 2 fiber festivals. I wanted to touch base with you about my newest pattern that's out today, the Advent Mystery MKAL. I wanted to share with you the December colorway for the Sock Knitters Almanac, which is so cool and festive. And lastly, I wanted to show you my progress on my projects. Yeah, lots of things to cover today. It's really cool. So if you're new to the podcast, there's a weekly podcast uploaded on YouTube at 5 p.m. every Monday. It goes hand in hand with the shop update, which is every Monday afternoon, except when there's, life things that get in the way, like sick kids, or when I'm at a fiber festival. So the shop has reopened, and there's also a newsletter, very important, because over the past few months the shop updates tend to sell out very quickly. So if you're interested in seeing what's in the shop, I strongly suggest that you have a look at the newsletter, see if there's anything you fancy, and if you do, just go have a look on Monday, 5 p.m. Paris time, around that time, or a bit later in the evening, but usually it sells out quite quickly. It's been selling out quite quickly over the past few months. So I will come back to Barcelona Knits. Okay, it was such a wonderful experience. I think maybe I touched base. I don't remember clearly what I told you last week, because I don't think I told you much. It was only 5 minutes. It was such a lovely festival, such an international festival. It was great. I felt so much warmth. I felt so welcome by both the organizers. The team is fantastic, but also from the other vendors. Some I had already met in Porto a few months ago, and it was incredibly heartwarming to see those people again and just get hugs. In France we don't hug much. We do the bees. Okay, we kiss each other, but much less since the pandemic. But usually it's either, depending on which part of France you're from, it's either 4 kisses, like on, not really, you're not kissing people on the cheek like this, You're just maybe touching cheek to cheek and kissing the hair. Okay, that's the bis. Four kisses is like from where I'm from, Normandy, the Parisian region area, but sometimes it's 2, and you never know if it's 4 or 2, and it can be very awkward when you go for 2 and it's 4 or the other way around. Okay, we don't hug, basically, or when it's family, but we don't hug like people we don't really have blood in common with, or very close friends. Okay, but in Spain everybody hugs. Okay, and it's so heartwarming. I loved it. I could give a hug to anyone. It was great. Not very, you know, but I mean, it's the way it's done there, and who am I to say no? Okay, I just enjoyed it so much. Okay, so it was great. There was 2 rooms, two halls. I think there was close to 70 booths, which is huge. And I loved it so much. Okay. I was with my daughter, my friend Pauline, who was with me in Porto. She couldn't come because at the last minute she has a family event that prevented her to come with me, but I was with my daughter, and we had so many you know, precious moments together. I can still remember when we had tapas and sangria for me, only, not her, on the old port. It was really beautiful moments. We enjoyed. On the Monday we had time to do some sightseeing. We went on a bus ride to tour the city, to see the beautiful sights and landmarks, and we had a stroll in the old city. We did some shopping. It was great, and I really felt like we had this very you know, privileged moment together. It was great. Also, we thought we were going to die on the plane in the way in, because there was some huge turbulences, the worst turbulences I ever experienced. And I really thought we were all going to die. When we landed, like, the plane was literally shaking like this. We could see the wing doing that. And my daughter just enjoyed the ride. Okay, I was interiorizing everything. I didn't want to scare the shit out of her. Sorry about my language, but she was like having the fun of her life. She was laughing out loud, and she was just like, she was on a bumpy ride on you know, on a roller coaster. And I was so aware it was not a bumpy ride on a roller coaster. I was like, we're going to die, we're all going to die, we're all going to die in my head. Okay, and so when we touched ground, I really understood why everybody is just, you know, cheering for the captain as soon as we touched ground, because I was like, I could have kissed the ground. Really, I could have. That's how scared I was. Anyway. I'm not used to traveling so much. I'm getting used to it, but I'm not so used to it, so that I'm still not feeling, you know, indifferent when I'm going on a plane. I still feel a bit jittery and not very at ease, and feeling like I'm gonna die any moment. But anyway. So what I did, so my daughter was with me, but she's not a knitter, and she's 15, so she's easily bored. And after 1 hour with me at the booth, she was so bored she wanted to go home to the place we were renting. So I completely understand. So she went home. That was a lot of other things. I thought she was lost. I was about to call the cops on her because I couldn't find her. She didn't speak Spanish. Actually, the team from Love Yarn Madrid, I will be a vendor at Love Yarn Madrid, was there, and we had just had the talk when I was really looking at my watch every minute because she was not back. She told me, don't worry ma'am, I'm going to be able to find the flat. It's a 15 walk from here. She didn't have a cell phone, and because a French cell phone was not working in Spain, And we requested the activation and it didn't activate. Actually, it got activated once we were back in France. And she told me, don't worry, I remember we walked to the Fiber Festival this morning. I totally remember. It's all in a straight line. I can't get lost. And as soon as I'm at the flat, I will call you. There is Wi-Fi there. I will call you on WhatsApp and tell you everything's fine. 1 hour later, it's a 15 minutes one. 1 hour later, I had no news about her. I was like going crazy, and there was so many people at the booth at that time of the day. It was like midday on Saturday. It was flooded with people everywhere, and it was impossible for people just to, you know, there was so many people. It was, although the alleys were very, very wide, it was very spacious. People had trouble just walking by the booth. So I was so scared, and at that time the team from Love Yard Madrid came by, introduced themselves, and we had a lovely chat, and there was just, you know, talking with other people just in front of my booth, and I was like, okay, it's been 1 hour, it's been 1 hour, it's been 1 hour, and I grabbed one of them, Anna, and I explained it to her, and I told her, please, can you just stay at my booth for like 10 minutes. I just want to, I don't know, find her. I was about to run directly to the flat, hoping that she went in a straight line. There was the cop at the marina. I thought I'm going to go to them and ask them to search for her. I told myself, no, just go to the flat first, and if you don't find her, you will come back and ask the cops for help. And I was halfway to the flat, and there she was, coming back, strolling, cool, not a problem in sight. And I just jumped her, and I was so relieved, and I thought she was lost in a country she didn't know, with speaking no language, no cell phone. I was out of my mind, and I told her, I don't care if you're bored. I don't give a F. You're staying by my side, and I don't want to have you out of my sight ever again, okay? And she was like, it's cool, Mom. I got lost. But it's okay. It's very easy to find my way back to the World Trade Center, which is kind of a big place in Barcelona. And she was just, you know, having a stroll, and it was perfectly safe, and it was in broad daylight and lots of people around, perfectly safe. But my God, I thought it's horrible, it was horrible. Anyway, I went back to the booth, and Anna was there, and she was so lovely, and I felt so relieved, and I hugged her. and it was a happy ending. And a bit later, a French client of mine that made the travel to Barcelona came by, said hello, and was very helpful and nice and friendly. And I asked her, she was with her daughter, and I asked her if she wouldn't mind, you know, just walking with my. Actually, first of all, I wanted to, you know, call an Uber for them to go back to the flat. But she told me, don't worry, we're going to walk her to your flat. It's okay. We want to have a stroll. We want to enjoy Barcelona. So we're going to take her to the flat. We're going to have her call you once she's here, and then we'll come back because we're not finished at the festival. And the event, there was so lovely. Even because it was very difficult to grab food at that festival for vendors, because if you didn't plan in advance, I didn't on the first day, there was so many people queuing for food. You had to wait in line for like 30 minutes or 45 minutes just to get a sandwich, and it was impossible for me because I was alone at my booth again. So they were so lovely. They queue for them, and at the same time grabbed something for me to eat, and then they came back with coffee. They took my daughter home. I mean, I was so grateful for them. It's Virginie and Eloise, girls, thank you again so much for your help. You really helped making things easier for me, because I mean, I had this exact same situation in Porto where my friend Letitia couldn't make it, and then my friend Annie couldn't make it at the last minute, and that's when Pauline came in and saved me and came with me, because I didn't feel able to go to a country I didn't know alone, doing a festival abroad for the first time alone. So Pauline was there with me, and this time around Pauline had a family emergency and I was alone with my daughter, but for some reason, because I went in Porto the first time, I was not afraid anymore, and I was just, it's okay. It's going to be fine. I don't mind being alone at my booth. It's just that it's not very easy to go on a, technical break or just to grab food. The day after, I was fully prepared. I had lots of things to eat and drink, and there were wonderful other vendors, very, very nice, that there were several people at their booth, so there were teams actually of several people, so they were able to stay at my booth while I went to take a break, to eat something, just to take a break and do a bit of shopping as well, because can you imagine being at Barcelona Knits and not being able to do any shopping at all? Couldn't do that. So what a long rant. You see, I had things to tell you. I had so many things to tell you. It was such a great experience. I can't stress enough how people were super friendly, super nice, super warm. It was great. It was really great. I just hope I will apply for next year. I just hope they'll have me. I so want to go back. And Barcelona is incredible city. You have the beach, you have everything from it's like it's several places at the same time. You have all the architectural things. Sorry. I wanted to say something else, but I can't find the word. Well, all the architectural interest points, maybe. You have all the museums, you have an aquarium, you have a zoo, you have the beach, you have all the restaurants, you have the port, you have all the shopping malls, you have the old city with lots of beautiful landmarks. You have so many artistic features in the city, because it hosted the Olympic Games, like end of the 20th century, I think. I mean, oh, wow, what a city. I just want to get back there with my whole family on summer vacation. I mean, I really can't wait to go back there. Maybe we'll drive, though. Okay, so what I bought at Barcelona. I bought this from Maria. So that's Maria G Knits. She's one of the organizers of the Knit with Friends festival with Joanna, and those girls were there, and it was such a pleasure to see them again. I have a card somewhere. Oh my gosh, just hold on one sec. This is from another, yeah, here it is. So that's one of the bags she made especially for Barcelona Knits. Walk Me bag number 64, and it's Maya G Knits if you want to check her out on Instagram. And look at this, it's absolutely gorgeous. It has sparkles on the handles are very sturdy and beautiful, and this is embroidered, and it's so cool. So really had a huge crush on this bag. So that's from Maya G Knits. And you see, Maya is one of those people that you can't help hugging, okay? When you see her, you just want to hug her. So I am so happy to have this from her. It makes me think of her every time I have it, and I'm having it all the time right now. I've emptied it just for the podcast to be able to show it to you, but otherwise I'm using it all the time. So yeah, that's from my friend Maya. Love it. Then that was a present from Virginie, the mom who helped me out so much during the festival. Again, thank you She made me this lovely project bag. That was from another vendor I met in Porto, Astrid. She was there with her sister this time. She came from Israel, and I bought her this little pouch, which is so cool because it looks like, I don't know how this is called in English. In French it's, well, it happens, I don't remember how it's called in French either. Liège. It's liège in French, okay? And this is so handy. It's like stitch markers, you know, when you have to cast on a lot of stitches, instead of counting and counting and counting, it goes from 10 in tens, and it makes things easier. Super handy. What else? What else in Barcelona? Oh yes, I bought this book from André de Castro. So I really loved all the patterns in there. I think for me what is most striking about André's work are his lace shawls. I love his lace shawls, but it came as something new to me that he was so gifted in stranding color work as well. So I really enjoyed flipping through his book. It's gorgeous, and I really want to knit one of his patterns, maybe a lace shawl. And then I realized everything is in Portuguese. Afterwards, I just didn't, you know, I didn't realize everything was in Portuguese. So I don't care. I mean, when you're a knitter, it is my belief that you can knit in whatever language you wish to, because you have the knowledge, you have the know-how, and we all knit kind of the same, okay? We all have knit stitches and purl stitches and increases and decreases, and I feel confident that I can knit this with the help of my friend Google Trad, okay? No problem. But it was, when I saw it was in Portuguese, I was like, okay, I need to think about checking that in advance, okay? Because, yeah. And I think that's it. You might have seen on my Instagram I cast on for a beautiful shawl, that's La Llorona shawl, here from Ship Days, I think. I used those two colors. Those were two colors that I dyed especially for Barcelona. That's Best Shot and Prism, but I frogged just because I don't have the brain capacity for yet another project right now. You'll see why. I'm going to develop to elaborate on that a bit in the podcast, but no, sorry guys, I couldn't show you the beautiful beginning, the beautiful baby shawl, but definitely I'll come back to it later. And then I had another festival the weekend just after, and it was this time in France, in the north of France, very close to the border with Belgium, in Lille, Villeneuve-d'Ascq more precisely, and it was such a great festival. It was, I think it's going to become one of the best French festivals. It has the potential. It was great. The place was wonderful. It was an old factory from a, you know, how do you say that? Remote selling, like when you had a huge catalog and with lots of things ranging from clothes to furniture to small appliances, you had everything in there. It was like a Bible like this, and you could buy anything from that by correspondence, by sending a letter. Okay, and with a purchase order, and you just told them what you wanted, you paid, and then it was delivered to your home. I don't recall the name in English, but there you go. That was the factory for that. And so it's closed, but it reopened to the public as a place for event. It's called La Maillerie, and une maille in French is a stitch, like a knit stitch or a pole stitch, a stitch. And so it's really fun that this knitting fiber festival took place in a place called La Maillerie, which could be translated to the stitchery, I imagined. And there was two places where you could get food. One was like a food court with different booths with lots of yummy foods, cheese and sweet things like pastries and desserts, and lots of different specialty from different places in France or places in the world. And there were lots of tables so you could have a seat and eat what you bought from the booth. It was great, and lots of good wines as well. And another place which was more like a restaurant, that was an Ep9, and I mean, it was a wonderful time. I had a wonderful time. So the thing I want to share with you from this festival is this girl. I'm so bad with names. I can remember faces, but names, it's really it's difficult for me. So this is from her. Her shop is Ars Mirabilia, and she do some sculpting like this. So this is a stitch marker, and this is very cute. But what I really love is those, you might have noticed the earrings that I was wearing at my in my previous podcast episode. I bought them from her. Okay, and if you had a doubt that it was made by a knitter, for knitters, here you go. So that's so cool, and I don't know if you can see the details. It's incredibly, there is lots of little details. It's really beautifully made. I love them. Also, I got this present from a person in Barcelona who watched the podcast, and it was such a surprise because you know, compared to the number of people who watch the podcast in France, the podcast in English is there is much less people watching the podcast in English. Yet, for those of you who are watching, I'm here. Always. Each time I'm filming a podcast in French, I'm filming a podcast in English. It's not always exactly the same content, but it's more like they live together, like they are living their lives like in parallel. They are not exactly replicates of the one of the other. But still, there was someone in Barcelona on the very first day, so it's not even the Saturday, the Friday afternoon, so one of the vendors that recognized me and asked me if I was tricot stitch, and she had a present from a friend of her watching the podcast, and those were those earrings that are handmade, I think. And it was incredible for me because it happens to me a lot of time in France, on like never on the street or anything, but in fiber festivals, yes. I know there is a lot of people who are watching the podcast, but in Barcelona, I didn't expect that to happen at all. So it came as a huge surprise, and I was kind of, you know, very pleased. It was very, again, heartwarming to see someone that, you know, when you arrive at some place you don't know anyone and you find someone that knows you and wants to have a chat with you, it makes you feel incredibly welcome, and it's great. So again, that was Muriel, so thank you again, Muriel, and it was Gaby that gave Muriel's gift to me. Thank you, girls. So also oh, sorry, I shouldn't have switched to back to Barcelona. Yes, in the other French festival, in Le Ch'ti Bazar. It's called Le Ch'ti Bazar. Maybe you want me to explain why it's called Le Ch'ti Bazar. A bazaar in France is like a shop where you can find everything. It's like an old-fashioned name, and it's like this: Le Ch'ti Bazar, Le Ch'ti Bazar. And this is a regional. It's really specific to the north of France, and this is how they say petit, small. They say ch'ti. Donc the small bazaar, the Ch'ti bazaar, so it really strongly resonates of the north of France, like you know, regional identity, and it's very cool and it's very funny because when you want to kindly have a laugh about how the people from the north of France are speaking, you kind of do that. The Ch'ti, and they're called the Ch'ti actually. It's a familiar way of calling them the Ch'ti. So it's really like a way for them to tell us that they are from the north of France and they're proud about it. So it's kind of cool. And so I bought yarn. I bought this one. And I have another anecdote about that because it was a vendor that was straight across from our booth. I was with Pauline at the Ch'ti Bazaar. And already in Porto, when she was with me, we separately had a stroll in the festival and we actually bought the same colorway without consulting. We did that twice at Porto. We actually have crushes on the same colorways. So knowing that, when it was my time to have a look and have a stroll at the Ch'ti Bazaar, I went to the booth right across ours. It was La Fée Ballot. She's a really cool indie dyer and a friend, and I had a look at what she had and I had a crush on that. And then Pauline came just right up to me and said, and asked La Fée Ballot, so which one is it? Which one is it? And it was again the same. We had a crush on the same. It was so fun. So this is our haul from the Ch'ti Bazaar. And also La Fée Ballot had a bouquet de lutin. So that's a little bouquet of elves. And that's Mimi's. Gorgeous minis. This is actually the collection of colorways she dyed especially for the event, and they're gorgeous. And you see, this is the same one, but I bought a full skin one. And she gifted this one to me just to say thank you. And I think it's the most beautiful and rock and roll and punk colorway there is ever. It's gorgeous. Look at that. So that's La Fée Ballot. I will put the link to her shop in my in the show notes. Okay, and then I had friends, Fanny, who makes stitch markers, so lots of Christmas themed, and then anything I'm a sucker for anything with cats and pumpkins. And she had this one, and she had this one, and my brain short circuit when I saw this one, which is literally a pumpkin and a cat. And then because she knows I love gnomes, she gifted that one to me. Thank you, Fanny. I love it. I wore it as a brooch for the whole day. It was so fun. And I think that's it. Oh no, that was my friend Emily, right across from us, next to La Fée Ballot. And again, I completed my collection of furls crochet. I don't know if you know them. I usually don't crochet, but since I've been seeing Emily at festivals, I crochet. Because I love the tools. Okay, it's gorgeous. And she has the most wonderful crochet patterns. I'm actually crocheting a shawl by her called A Hazy Shade of Winter, like the song from the Bengals. And she used La Fée Ballot yarn to knit her shawl, to crochet her shawl, and it's gorgeous. And I'm actually crocheting one for myself using one of her furls crochet, and I'm really in love with that brand. I love the wood. Wood is my preferred material for knitting and crocheting, and those are just gorgeous. I love them. Okay, that was so long, guys. It's over 30 minutes yet. Okay. Okay, I'm going to move on because I could be, ranting for hours about how great the both festivals were. I just wanted to just thank all the people I spent time with in Barcelona. I wanted to thank a lot of hugs to Maria, Joanna, Astrid, and the lovely people that were right next to me from Portugal and Brazil. It was incredible. I just wanted to a shout out to, oh no, I still have to tell you about that. there was a girl. She went by the booth several times, and I was sure I knew her, but like I knew her like a friend, okay, or someone I already talked to, someone I hadn't seen for a long time. That was I was happy to see again, and I was like, what's her name? What's her name? I'm so bad with names, guys. It's pathological. I'm so bad with names. I know faces. I can recognize you in the street 10 years from today if I pass you by, but names, it enters here, it goes out here, and okay. So that girl, I knew her. I was certain of it. And then she came by my booth and she looked at my yarn, and so I was like, je te connais, because I thought she was French, guys. That's how certain I was. I knew her. I talked to her in French, and I told her, je te connais, on se connaît, non? Je suis sûre que je te connais. She was like, what? Sorry, I don't speak French. And I was like, what? How is that even possible? It's like deja vu or whatever. What is going on? And then she told me, maybe you know me from the podcast. I was like, podcast? I've not been watching podcast for years. I've been a huge, podcast fan for years, but I think for like 2 or 3 years, I'm not watching anymore any podcast. So don't feel like it anymore. So that must have been for a long time ago. And yeah, she gave me her card, and then everything fell into place. She is the passionate spinner, guys. Okay, one of my favorite YouTube channel for spinning. Her name is Tracy, and she lives in Germany. Her Instagram handle is Schnuffeltier, and she's absolutely she's a legend, that girl, about knitting. That's with her that I learned how to do combo spinning with different braids of fiber. To you do something with them, just to have one giant batch to enable you to tackle a big project like a sweater, even if you don't have matching braids. So she is so talented, and she does a lot of things, and she's great. So I was happy I saw her in real life. I saw also Brooklyn Boys Knits. He came by the booth, we had a chat. It was lovely. His boyfriend is absolutely cute also, and so friendly. So so many people, really, so many great people. It was incredible, guys. And I'm so happy. I'm going to Madrid in February. So happy. And again, thank you, Anna. Again, thank you. Okay, so I have a pattern out today, guys. It's the Advent Mystery KAL. So it's a pattern that's included in the Advent calendar. So it's designed to use the 24 minis of the Advent calendar in the order of the envelope opening. But you can totally knit it with from stash, with your leftovers if you wish, or with 5 full skeins of fingering weight yarn. So that's up to you. All the details are in the pattern. If you are not using minis, my recommendation would be, you can go bold for your color choices, you can go variegated, you can go speckled, heavily speckled, you can go semi-solid, you can go whatever you want. Just make sure to have a gradient. That's my recommendation. And I won't see, even for the minis, it would be better if you have a gradient, even if it's not a gradient from dark to light or light to dark. Even if it goes like light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, it doesn't matter. Just you want to have some colors that are going to fade into one another. That's all. Okay, and it's completely different from my previous Advent Mystery KAL design, which was a stole with a different stitch pattern every day. I can tell you that this has nothing in common. The only common point is that you're going to receive a clue per day. Otherwise, it's completely different. It's not the same shape. It's not the same nothing. It's completely different. Okay, so it's out today. It's both in French and in English. And I hope you'll join. Okay, I'm going to reveal it's starting next week. Actually, it's this week because I'm recording on Friday the 25th of November. It's always 1 month to Christmas. It's crazy. It goes so fast. So December 1st, the first clue drops. Okay, it knits up very quickly. I'm not saying anything else, but know that it knits up very quickly, and the theme is, it's called Calm and Joy, and it's exactly what you will feel, I think, when you knit that, calm and joy. You'll feel calm, and if you love the yarn you're working with, you'll feel joy. Okay. Then the Sock Knitters December Almanac. Is that in the right? The Sock Knitters December Almanac. December Sock Knitters Almanac. Okay, I chose to, you know, last year I wanted to do something Christmassy, but not your regular Christmas. So I went with Nutcracker, and I went with very pastel colors, something Christmassy, but it's not really that. If you don't tell people it's Christmas, okay? This time there will be no doubt about it. It's going to scream Christmas. This is the mood board. So it's your regular gingerbread man with lots of beautiful Santa red. I really wanted to work with Christmas emblematic colors for this ones. Very saturated, yummy. I wanted to have something very cozy feeling, very festive, full of Christmas joy. Okay, so your mood board is here and the colorway is here. So this time around, because although I've been you know, complaining about that, about minis with the gnomes, with the advent calendars, for some reason there is some minis again. I decided to do a kit for Christmas. It's always nice to have something to knit socks with a contrasting heel and toe. So this is the colorway. It's called Bonhomme Pain, which is the French form for gingerbread man, actually. And you can see the gingerbread, you can see Christmas, you can see Santa, and you can see some lovely speckles. Okay, so I'm going to share them with you base by base. Okay, I can't wait to cast on. This is the contrasting color. So there you go, contrasting color is this one. It's going to be so much fun. Okay, so this is on Lurex with a lot of sparkle. So you see the deeply saturated bright red, bright center close red, with the gingerbread, with dashes of warm chocolate, and some places I left undyed, with a lot of speckles ranging from there is several shades of green in the speckles, plus some gold and a bit of neon colors as well. So it's going to be very fun to knit. It's going to do a bit on socks. It's going to look a bit stripy. You will have pulling on this. If you don't do something to counter pulling, you will have pulling. But on socks, I think I'm going to I'd like to knit a either a contrasting, well, I know what I'm going to knit with that, but if you I will show you the pattern suggestions just in a minute. But if you want to, a good pattern for that would be to knit just a tube and an afterthought heel to avoid the pulling to be disrupted at the heel, for example, because of the increases or the decreases. So this is on tweed. I really like it on tweed. So cozy. This is on extra thin fingering, very saturated, very intense, beautiful, takes the color beautifully, always. This is on MCN, which is a very cool base to work at this period of year. Very, you know, very chunky, very warm. And this is Stelina. Beautiful as always also. And the minis, the minis are going to be beautifully contrasting, because you'll find just the tad of that green in the speckles, but not a lot. And the colorway in the pattern, actually I have designed a few years back a pattern that is perfect for that. I was, you know, browsing Ravelry this morning, and I thought, I'd like to knit something with, you know, a contrasting mini and something very simple for the design, but still something cozy. And actually that design of mine, Baie d'Hiver, ticks all the boxes. So I just thought, why not? Okay, it's both in French and in English. It's a very fun pattern to make. The heel is super strong on that one. And actually I wanted to knit, it's a pattern that I designed a while back, and I don't have any sample knit with my own yarn, so it's a way for me to knit also that pattern with my own yarn, which is going to be cool. So this is the pattern I'm offering you to knit this this December. And because that's going to be two patterns of mine you might want to buy if you want to do the mystery KAL and knit the sock this month, I'm going to have a sale on patterns starting today until the end of December. It's a buy two one free promotion. So if you want to add in there a réconfort or something like that, know that if you buy two patterns, the third is free. Okay, guys? And then the projects. Yeah. Well, I can't show you what I've been working on for like exclusively for the past 2 weeks, because it's the Advent Mystery KAL. I'm not finished. Okay, I'm close to finishing. I will be finished by the end of the month, and everything is already ready for the first clue and all. I'm just finishing up the last clues. But what I can show you is the progress I made on socks, because I'm going to have a pair for September. This is Mabon, so this was the September colorway of the Sock Knitter's Almanac. So I always have to think about it before I say it. So this is it on BFL. Then I made some progress. I turned the heel on the Season of the Witch sock, was the Pembroke sock by Marion M. Knits. You see the pulling here? Is what I was talking about. The pulling got disrupted here. So you can expect that effect for this colorway. But if you don't want the pulling to be disturbed here, just knit a tube. Or maybe short row heels. Then I've made some progress. Everything is very autumn and Halloween. So I've decided, I told you guys, I've decided not to do the whole sock with this stranded colorwork design. I decided to do striping because colorwork is still kind of a challenge for me. I'm not feeling very at ease doing that. I'm very slow, and if there was ever a hope for this sock to become a pair one day, I had to stop the colorwork. Otherwise it was going to be frogged, I know it. And that's it basically for socks. I still need to cast on for the November socks, but it's been so busy lately between the fiber festivals, the advent calendars, the advent calendar design. I've not had the opportunity to cast on for this beauty. It's the November colorway Dream Knitting Retreat. I really love the idea of knitting a sock with that theme in mind. I so desperately want to go on my own, you know, Dream Knitting Retreat. She's waiting for me. That's what's beautiful about this concept. You can go to there any time you want, really. So no rush. And the last thing I wanted to share with you, because I'm currently really fully booked about designs for finishing up the Advent Mystery KAL, this beauty is late, okay? Totally late. This is Satisfaction, by the way. This is my latest design. I think it will go out, it will be published early 2023. And the thing is, I lost my notes, so I have to knit another one. And this time around, I'm taking very detailed notes. So I decided to knit it in a different type of yarn. This is alpaca silk and cashmere in DK, sorry about that, together with mohair and silk. This is Black Orchid and this is Darker Things knit together on a 6.5 needle. So this is going to knit very quickly, and what I'm going to do, because I have a lot of testers who are ready to start, they have the yarn, they have the needles, they have everything, just waiting for the pattern. So what I'm going to do is do a test mystery card style. I'm going to send maybe the first section of the pattern and then work on the follow-up, and so that they don't have to wait for the full pattern to be finished to start working on the test. So that will happen sometime in December, I think, once I'm completely done with the Advent mystery card design. And there you go. I think I talked about everything. Don't forget, I have a pop-up shop or a trunk show in Sur un Fil on Saturday. If by any chance you're around, it's in Orsay. You will find all the details in the show notes. It's from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Saturday, December the 3rd. And the colorway, the Almanac December colorway, will be, I think I managed to say it in a third time in a different way. So pre-orders for those will open the shop on December the 5th, and it will be available first at Orsay, at Sur un Fil in Orsay. So yeah, it's going to be fun. Okay, and I will have lots of Christmas colors. I will have the December colorway of last year also. I will have this colorway with kits of DK in Fanfare with mohair and silk, Petit DK also, and mohair and silk to knit your own Première Neige. I definitely want to knit myself a Christmas theme hat with a huge pom-pom. There will be some other things as well. I'm going to dye again the colorway I dyed for Barcelona. I will have it there with me. And then I'm going to do a, today in the shop you can find some post Fiber Festival items. And then I will add some more on December the 12th, I think. It's a Monday. Should be December the 12th. Yeah. And that's it, guys. Thank you for, oh my gosh, it's even longer than the French version. But you guys had only like 5 minutes last week. The French had 15, so kind of balancing in the end. So take care this week. I'll see you next Monday, and happy knitting. And next Monday will be in December. Yes. See you guys. Bye.